So by now you've probably seen some of the horrific images coming out of the state of Hawaii after those deadly wildfires, the deadliest wildfires already in more than a century. Let's go ahead and put some of this up on the screen for those who haven't seen. This is a before and after picture of the town of Lahaina. You can, I mean, it's just horrific to look at. This historic area absolutely burned to a crisp. Let's go ahead and show this next one, which is absolutely horrifying. There's video of people who were jumping into the ocean in order to try to escape these wildfires. As I said before, deadliest now already based on the current body count in over a century, 96 people confirmed dead, more than 1,000 still missing. So this is just an absolutely horrific death toll. And then let's put this next one up on the screen. You can see the completely apocalyptic images here. This is, an area that used to be bustling. You can see these skeletons of cars, everything just completely burnt down. And basically there was a confluence of terrible factors that led to this outcome. This area in Maui had been subject to drought for a while. They also had an issue with these non-native grasses that had grown up across the region, which were super flammable, especially with the drought. Yeah. And then you had hurricane strength winds that helped to spread this, unfortunately, like wildfire, and leads to this terrifically awful, just terribly awful result. I was looking at some of the history here, Saagar, in terms of deadliest wildfires in American history. As I said, this is the worst that we've had in over a century already, which is astonishing given the technological advances that we've made in that time. The worst in history that we've ever had was a fire in Wisconsin in 1871 that killed 1,152. It was at the site of a sawmill, so there was all this dry sawdust around, and just the whole town went up in flames. But the next closest to this wildfire and the deadly nature of it was in 1918. They call it the Cloquet Fire, when railroad sparks ignited a wildfire that raged for more than 4 days, decimating northern Minnesota. That set a death toll of 453 as a result of that fire. And, unfortunately, I think everyone's expectation is that the death toll is going to rise significantly from the 96 that it's already at, given the number of people who are still unaccounted for.
I was going to say, you got days in now, and you got hundreds of people who are missing. So it's like that is a terrible situation, and something we've been trying to track here, Krystal, which was really put on the radar by both our producers, but also some of our audience, people who actually live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Is aid actually flowing to Hawaii in the nature that it should? And there's some indications right now from actual residents on the island that they are not happy with the federal government and the Biden administration about the delivery of said aid.
I'm not getting what I need from the government. The community on Maui is extremely strong, and the crowdfunding and the community effort to support each other right now is so unbelievably immense. It's chaotic, and it's extremely hard to organize who needs what and who needs where. A lot of the big box stores are running out of supplies, and things are starting to get a little weird after natural disasters happen like that. A lot of people are spending their hard-earned money, and they're taking their personal vehicles, and they're driving into Lahaina through the danger to deliver supplies, because we are not receiving the aid in any capacity that we need to be receiving aid on a larger level, on a government level.
But as of now, we are seeing very little support from big organizations. Yeah. We hear that there is Coast Guards or National Guards that's assisting with organization in Lahaina. But at the same time, we are in contact with a lot of residents in Lahaina that are stuck up north between Kahana and Kili, who are out of power, out of water, out of gas.
It's troubling stuff there, Krystal, in terms of what's coming in. And, so I've seen a good point. Mike Glover, Fieldcraft survival guy, big into disaster relief. He's like, we got one of the biggest military bases in the entire country, like a couple miles away. What are we doing? Why are we not surging? And, this has been coming out. Residents, let's put this up there on the screen. This is a screenshot from an Instagram story that was taken by a local dive company. They say, quote, the government has blocked entry roads to Lahaina, leaving people feeling abandoned and confused, unable to locate missing family members and get much needed supply to those in need. This has not stopped the strong community of Maui from finding ways ways to help. Apparently, one of the biggest problems on the island is lack of cell service. There's lack of internet. But, this is not just one story. We're hearing this from a lot of different people. There are viral videos floating around out there of actual residents saying they have been blocked, actually, by the local and the state and the federal government by coming to the island. Apparently, FEMA wants to be the single source of control. And I'm not saying they're doing this intentionally. It just sounds like a complete bureaucratic incompetence nightmare, all of which we witnessed in the time in Katrina. The problem is this is so far away and so remote, and we don't have enough media resources on the ground that we're, who knows what in terms of the information and stuff. Some of the stuff filtering out here is a real scandal.
Yeah, we're really having to rely on the residents to tell us what is going on. And, these aren't just isolated incidents. At this point, we're seeing a lot of commentary coming from people who are impacted there on the island who are saying, please, someone report on this, someone come to our aid. Put this next one up on the screen. This is another post. They say this was posted 2 days ago. They're saying, for what it's worth, I'm hoping for a writer to write this complicated yet very simple story for Maui. Yes, it feels ridiculous because I know no one in these high places knows what I'm doing. Donations, we need them all. This is a plea. New York Times, NPR, CNN, anything large and legitimate. Do you know someone? Screenshot, share, I beg. He goes on to say, where's the Navy, the hospital ship, helicopters, the military, the natural disaster relief infrastructure that should have been here by now? So, of course, the Biden administration says they're doing everything they can. National Guardsmen have been mobilized to the area, but clearly just a lot of devastation and frustration mounting among residents there on the ground as the death toll continues to mount.
Yeah, and President Biden actually was asked yesterday on his beach vacation while he was quite literally on the beach. Mr. President, do you have any comments about the rising death toll in Hawaii? Quote, no comment, he said, before heading home. This is pretty disgusting stuff, to be honest. And look, it's often a trope, the whole, we send money over there, but we don't have money over here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a zero-sum game, but the politicians are the ones who have turned it into that zero-sum game. So I think the analysis is fair. But, we got time to be requesting $25 billion more for Q1 to go to the Ukrainian military, including $13 billion of disaster relief included in there. And these people are American citizens out there pleading for money on Instagram while one of the world's largest military bases is 40-some miles away from this disaster suit. What the hell is going on here? You got people there saying that they're being blocked from bringing propane and energy to their freaking relatives. I mean, can you imagine? You got relatives who are not that far away, whose house just burned down. You got infrastructure going there, and somebody tells you can't go see them.
I'd be losing my mind.
Yeah, you'd be losing your mind. You bulldoze and pass them if you can.
These people have already lost. I mean, it just boggles the mind. Right. I can't believe Biden's on a beach. I genuinely can't believe that. Think if this happened in the mainland 50.
Yeah, oh man.
If this was Pennsylvania, if this was Virginia, if this was somewhere that, was closer to home that they felt more personally connected, there's no way that the president of the United States would, just go to the beach and say no comment about the horror that is unfolding. Again, deadliest wildfire in more than a century. You could see from the photos the level of devastation, and to be that cavalier about it, I'm actually genuinely shocked by it, to be honest with you. And the other thing I'd say is, listen, I was reading into, is there a climate change connect with this particular way? It's always difficult to say in any particular disaster, what is the climate change connect? There's an indication they've been increasingly in drought in Hawaii in a way that they didn't used to be, that may be caused by climate change, hard to say. The increase, in hurricanes and strength of winds may be caused by climate change, hard to say. But what we do know is we are getting these disasters more and more often. We are going to continue dealing with these disasters more and more often. So we better get damn good at it. We better get damn good at mitigation. We better get damn good at relief. We better have the money queued up, ready to go, and a plan in place, ready to help residents when they are impacted this, because this is the new reality. Whether or not this particular incident was climate change driven, which again, it's very difficult to say in this particular incident. We know we're seeing once in a century floods coming year after year. We're seeing increased strength in hurricanes. We're seeing wildfires that are absolutely historic in their size and scope. And we're seeing so much disaster that, in a place like Florida, this is something we're hearing more and more, too, about people who can't get homeowners insurance because of the rising threat of repeated natural disasters. So we better get our game together here, because this is the new reality.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, and the problem too is the fact that these people are like pleading for resources online. You know, that one guy's screenshot about the media and all that. It's just like, how can they be so ignored by what's going on? And Obama, to his credit, I guess because he's from there, was one of the first people, really to start asking for funds and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I think because he grew up in Hawaii, but pretty much everybody else has been gone. It'd be a good opportunity, like when when the Trump campaign went to go visit East Palestine, even though Hawaii is a blue state. Plane flies, like you should get over there. People should know that people actually do care about what's going on. Luckily, with the internet, some of the word is getting out there. I hope it will continue. Maybe we'll put a link to one of the disaster relief organizations that's down in the description. But
yeah,
it's a terrible situation. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.